Now, you've probably heard myself and many other influencers tell you that there are significant events that happen in a project's lifetime that signify possible huge growth in the future. Now, we just had exactly that with both PYTH and ONDO, two coins, spoiler alert, that I personally own, I talk about on the channel because they're great projects, and I'm going to introduce to you today some of the news that's made me extremely bullish on these two coins more than what I already am, and I think we're going to see a fantastic bull run for both of these coins. I'm going to also give you my price predictions for these. Have they changed? Are they the same? I will talk more about that soon, but first of all, you have to know the news. You have to understand what's happened. This can be very easily like over your head sort of stuff, because unless you know the repercussions of something or the result, you're not going to pick up on it. You're going to see an update like this, think, hey, there was an instant, 200% gains on the day, so it ain't that much. The same was said back when Chainlink had their CCIP upgrade. I was telling people way back then, this is a massive upgrade. Chainlink's going to explode over time. What happened? It moved sideways and boom, it like 6x'd or 3x or 5x, whatever it did. It just definitely moved up. And the reason why, it was supported by CCIP, one of its main upgrades. You see, when there's positive price movements, everyone jumps back into the coin. They latch on to the most recent and largest news. And in this case, well, I've got the answers, or at least it might get even better from here, which I think it definitely can. Now, before I jump into the news, guys, do not forget, if you find yourself enjoying today's video or you like these updates, hit the like button down there, but importantly, I want you to subscribe as well so you can achieve all your crypto goals this bull run. And a quick side note, look, if you do like me actually talking about daily news, I can post a couple times a day fairly often. So if you want me to talk about more so high quality, more so, I guess, in-your-face news, right, more important news on some of the coins I talk about, let me know. I literally will not do it unless you tell me right now. So jump down there and do it. So let's begin with what this news actually is. So these two projects came together in their true fashion, right? What is ONDO? ONDO is a real-world asset tokenization project on Ethereum, looking to, of course, tokenize things like one of its key things we'll talk about here, the US dollar treasuries. This is obviously helped supported by a few massive projects, and OUSG as well. So one pretty much takes very stable form like US treasuries and notes, and then it allows people to gain passive income from it, just like you would with a stable coin, except this is obviously much safer. And then, of course, you have the OUSG as well, which is a little bit less returns, but in the same respects, this is a partnership with BlackRock to tap into their Build All fund, okay? So this is basically investing in US Treasury bills as an ultra-low investment option that delivers a stable and predictable return while offering deep liquidity. So basically what they both are is low return, but highly liquid and highly secure assets, okay? Something that we need in crypto, because if we're going to be adopting traditional finance things, you do want to, of course, have those safer bets for people to leverage, okay? Before this, we pretty much are staking our stable coins on an exchange, which a lot of issues can come up with, okay? So what they've done is decided to take their first product here, USDY, so US dollar yield, and hook up to PYTH and allow it to be connected to over 65 different blockchains. Now, I get it, right? This is going to probably hit your eardrum and you're going to think to yourself, hang on, this doesn't really sound that amazing. What are you talking about? Well, put it this way. Think of something like Facebook, right? Facebook was only introduced in your country. No one else would access it. And it could only grow so large. Then if you give it access to every other country in the world, what's going to happen? If it's a popular product, which I'm guessing it would be if it's already adopted nationally in a single country, it's going to blow the hell up. Now, this is the case what's happened here. PYTH, being the oracle, is going to allow ONDO's price feeds, what is now known as USDY/USD, to be leveraged in those other networks, which in turn will have their DeFi protocols actually tapping into this, leveraging that tokenized fund, leveraging pretty much this very stable coin, if you will, okay? That's essentially what it is. This launch paves the way for unlocking ONDO USDY to developers and projects building the future of finance and improving access to institutional assets on chain. This is what we need to do in order to actually be somewhat comparable to traditional finance. The whole idea of DeFi is decentralized finance. We can have decentralized things, but we can't have finance if it's pretty unusable. It's just decentralized sort of finance, and that doesn't sound very amazing, does it? What is ONDO's US dollar yield token? This blends the benefits of an on-chain finance with the reliability of traditional assets, and that I think summarizes it very, very well. So the repercussions of this for both these projects, that's where I kind of want to take this here, is I believe ONDO's TVL, currently at about $557 million, will rapidly increase, I believe. Currently positioned 44 on DeFi Llama. I think it's going to be shooting up the stack because we're going to have all these new protocols, aka, dApps on these 65 plus networks tapping into this price feed. Therefore, there'll be more of a reason to actually tokenize more of the, US treasuries, basically, is what it is. Tokenize more of this. Again, a tokenized product based on US treasuries and bank deposits. That's what USDY is. I would tell you more about it and open it up. But for some reason, I've got access restricted in Australia, thanks to, of course, being a Commonwealth country. Now, I guess benefits of this for PYTH is, I think, equally, if not probably better than the, sort of benefits that come with ONDO. And the reason being is because the TVS will increase insanely. TVS stands for total value secured, okay? So we have TVL, total value locked over here for ONDO, but so TVS basically is how much money is being transferred between each network and therefore secured by the PYTH protocol. So this is, I think, a very good indicator of how much money is being flowing around the particular network, how much is being passing by, the protocol itself. And I think that this is going to absolutely skyrocket as more and more applications begin using it. We do have some already using it. I can touch on these momentarily here, but I really like this quote here from CoinTrust. This collaboration opens new opportunities for developers and projects to integrate institutional assets on chain, thereby enhancing DeFi's potential. I think we're going to have more traditional, institutional focused asset classes and assets like what we're seeing here with OUSG and USDY from ONDO, before we get the more really nuanced, specific benefits of what traditional finance can offer. PYTH networks over 100 first-party data providers are set to support more real-world assets as demanded by Web3 developers. Okay, it's very simple. Developers want this sort of stuff to then allow their communities or future communities to tap into. So I actually made a post on this today, essentially very early this morning. I think you guys need to follow me on Twitter. And that's just as simply as I'm going to put it. You're going to always see stuff on Twitter before YouTube. And that might give you, again, non-financial advice, the benefit of getting into something like this sooner than someone might, see it on YouTube, basically. I said, never before have we seen a single partnership capable of targeting over 65 different blockchain networks until now. The biggest game changer in real-world asset space is loading. And I truly do believe that, guys. The potential here is nuts. You've just unlocked 65 plus different blockchains and their ecosystems for ONDO. And the best way I can visualize this, we'll talk about this in a second here, is ONDO is connected to 7 different networks, but let's simplify it with just Ethereum, okay? 3,000 plus dApps are just on Ethereum. Well, since PYTH is now hooked up to it, of course, we have the 3,000 dApps on Ethereum and all the 65 plus other networks hooked up to PYTH, providing this very stable pair now to, I would assume, well and truly over 6,000 dApps. I just threw a number, I doubled it, but I would dare say it's a lot more than 6,000 dApps. Some of these like Aptos, Solana, and others are actually already using it. We can see here, Aptos, Solana, Mantle, Sui, and some other individual protocols are already tapping into this. This news is about 5 days old. So, okay, they're using it already. You got to know it's pretty good in that case. And can I just remind you all as well, I touched on this recently in an ONDO video. I might leave the link to that full ONDO review down below. But guys, you got to understand, the RWA tokenization space is huge, okay? Now, it's going to get even bigger by 2030. Some of these predictions are nuts. These are both very, very credible research and development companies you can see here, and their reports indicate even a base case in 2030 of $6.8 trillion, okay? And over here, 16 trillion on the high side. Now, I'm really bullish, and I actually think that we could go a lot higher than these estimates because BlackRock, of course, is spearheading this whole tokenization movement. And we recently saw Goldman Sachs say they want to actually release 3 new tokenization products for crypto for institutional use on private networks by the end of this year alone. So again, we just don't really know the capabilities here, but we just know it's going to be impressive. Now, my price prediction for ONDO on the very high side is $18 still. But remember, we need to leave some room here for error. We need to leave 25% down from this level to be the red zone. This is the possible seller versus seller where you kind of don't want to be sitting yourself because, again, you might be literally fighting sellers, okay? Literally illiquid market. So we want to move down 10% from that last line at $13.50. This now becomes the gray zone. The gray zone pretty much means that, yeah, you probably will find it's liquid, but we just don't want to really use that for certainty. That's the buffer zone. So then moving from this line all the way down to the current price is, of course, the green zone. So this is where you can likely sell and be safe. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you this for certain, but based on data, this $18 price prediction came from my personal opinion and also the data sheet. We can expect about a 12x or a little bit less than a 12x from the current price, I believe. And again, it could go a lot more than this. Theoretically, my price prediction says ONDO is going to about 18x, a bit under 17x. But again, this is being safe. Now, in PYTH's case, it's a much smaller project, okay? I think PYTH in the green zone here has about a 23x in the tank. This is the $6.75. Now, again, some people are saying to me, Kyron, how is that possible? The market cap's going to have to be like $60, $70 billion or whatever it works out to be. You have to understand, guys, this right here is the tokenomics. This is the vesting. Now, these predictions all work on the very possible latest end of the bull run, which is always going to be December of 2025. I think we'll likely have the tops for these coins sometime in this gap here. So basically before around mid next year, okay? And I think that there's going to be no more unlocks, particularly for PYTH. And if there even is, these unlocks won't actually depreciate the price. Maybe you might have some retail sales, but you're not going to have this huge unlock inflation event that you typically would think of. Doesn't work like that in crypto. The same thing can be said for ONDO. This unlock will likely happen here before the end of the bull run. But again, we have to look at who it's going to, and only a very small slither of the unlock is going to the private sales. So most of the sell pressure in this case, both for ONDO and PYTH, will come from retail before the day of the unlock. On the day of the unlock, likely you will probably see some retracement because some of these guys will take profits before, of course, the price going up, given the fact that the market is looking bullish, not bearish. Bearish will make it even worse, but I still think that those targets are definitely reasonable. You can make an argument that maybe PYTH won't go that high, particularly because it's come down quite a lot in the recent market crash. It can kind of misconstrued and alter your mindset. Okay, how can PYTH really 23x from the current prices? Again, it's just because it's come down so low. PYTH was around 30 to 60 cents very recently before this market crash, even up to $1.20. Now, if it was $1.20 right now, you would believe $6 is on the cards. But of course, because we're down, it's playing with your mind. ONDO is a bit different. ONDO, of course, is holding up very steadily. So, guys, that'll do this video. I hope you have enjoyed. Again, the partnership like this can very easily go over your head because you think, why is it that important? Why is that simple? We're going to hook you up to a whole different bunch of blockchains, and all these blockchains and dApps can now leverage that pair in their own respective ways. Well, again, it's not so much what has occurred, but what will occur. How this will be leveraged, I think, is really one of the first in the crypto space. And for both protocols, it's a very bullish thing. Thanks all. Talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.